Record. So, hello guys. I'm so excited for Jordan to be on here. Jordan is amazing. She's triple diamond, and we're going to San Francisco next week, and so I'm super excited about that. You'll get to see all of our cute pictures. We get to have so much fun. But I wanted to get her on here because I know she not only has an incredible story, but she also is such a hard worker, and she pulled in some crazy amount of volume for her to promote. And so I wanted to kind of bring her on here and just show y'all what can happen when you come together with your team, you decide you're going to promote, and you go get it done. So, Jordan, if you could start us off by sharing a little bit about you.
Yeah. So I started 3 years ago and I was a college student. I had just moved out on my own. And little backstory, like whenever I was like everyone else was going out to college and stuff, I actually stayed back to be with family because my dad was sick with cancer. And there's a lot of things I wanted to do, but I was just always held back from it. And so I actually didn't move out on my own until 22. And I remember being out on my own and just being like, oh yeah, like I got this. Like this is going to be great. I don't know why, but like I moved out and I was living off a credit card. I had no job. And I was going to school full time. And me and my mom were like, well, you have 4,000 on this credit card. So your rent is 650 a month. So this is going to be this many months. And we'll see, by the time you're getting to where that card's maxed out and you can't pay for it, well, you better go get a job. So don't know why that was even the way I started out being on my own. I was already getting myself into debt. So about 3 months living on my own, I started becoming a plasma tech which is someone who takes people's blood, plasma for money. I still have a scar, y'all, from donating all the time because that's how much, that's how desperate I was for money. Ended up getting a job there full time and a full time college student. And so obviously with that job, I still was not making it. And I saw my upline posting about this business, and I used to do another company before this business. I only did it for about 2 weeks, and I did not like the setup. I didn't like the way that they ran things or anything. So I already had a bad taste in my mouth about network marketing. I was like, I didn't like that company. Like, I probably won't like this. I had bought wraps before. The rep never checked in with me. So like, I don't know what actually brought me to It Works other than just desperation. And so my upline messaged me that morning, and I said, girl, I'm about to go into work and work a 10-hour shift. So like, I'll have to text you when I get off. Text her when I got off. I joined that night, y'all. I had such a bad day. But thank God, thank God, God gave me a bad day at work, because that's exactly what made me say yes to this. So yeah, I was a college student, and roughly, I didn't take it seriously in the beginning. I don't know. I was so scared of what everyone thought. Everyone made fun of me. I was the one selling magic diet pills that don't work. I was the crazy rap girl. I was tweeted about. I was really the only one in my area that was doing this. And I was proud, but then I started to become unproud. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm ashamed of this. So I remember turning 23, and I had a friend come out with me, and she's like, please tell me like you're going to be done with this in a few months. And I was like, well, I don't post all the time anymore. Like, I just was so defensive, and there was a $10,000 bonus on the line. And I remember sitting there thinking like, what do I want? Like, I remember coming like this fork in the road, and my upline was like, there's a $10,000 bonus on the line. Do you want this or not? And it actually wasn't my personally enrolled. Katie Duke messaged me, my best friend now. She said, this is on the line. Do you want it or not? And I'm just like a little distributor. I only had one person on my team at this time. And I said, okay, I'm going to try. Guys, I deleted everyone that ever talked bad about me. I said bye to all the negativity. I didn't earn the $10,000 bonus when I thought I was going to. I claimed Diamond as a distributor for like 4 or 5 months. Went Ruby in 9 months, y'all. Okay, so it took me 9 months to go Ruby. 4 months later, I went double. So I was making $400. Actually, my highest Ruby check was like $390. I went Ruby with a $390 check, and then went double with a $4,000 check in a matter of 4 months. I earned a $40,000 bonus, and this was all within my first, 10, 11 months of the business. It was just so crazy, and I think back now, obviously I went triple a year later, now working on Prez a year later. So long story short, I don't have like these crazy stories, I wasn't on food stamps. I wasn't, about to lose my house or anything, but like, I was just so desperate for more. I was always taught that if you're college student, you're just broke. If your parents didn't go to college, like you paid for it on your own. Like I didn't get financial aid. My parents didn't go to college. Like they didn't have well enough jobs, which I ended up losing my dad. So it was just my mom's income. So it's like, I was just in this place where I was like, you're not worthy enough. You're not educated enough. And probably an extra $200 is all you're going to get. And now I'm at, averaging 10,000 plus a month, make more than average. And it makes me emotional to think the life that I live, y'all. Like I travel all the time. I have this dream apartment, best of friends, like actual freedom. Like I have true freedom. It's not just the money, but it's like I wake up excited every day. And that is the best gift I've ever received from this business. So
I love your story, and I love that it's so relatable. I know half my team is over here like, okay, what? Wow, mate, same for me. But so I really wanted this Zoom to just hone in on promoting. So many of us are pushing for promotions. So many of us are like, they think that they're just so far and that it can't be done. And, we're going ambassador this month. And I just hopped on live on my team page to tell them this morning that in 4 days, we pulled off 40,000 group volume. Like, I'm still so shook by that. And now we're 59,000 away from going ambassador. And I just want them to know that, like, if they did that in 4 days, imagine what every single person can do when it comes to pulling off their promotion if we pull them that much. Like, I'm so proud of y'all, but I just really wanted her to pull in this because I know she can relate to how much her team brought in and just really locked arms with each other. So what do you feel like your daily schedule looks like when it's promotion month?
So I want to tell you guys, like, I have never worked off like a strict schedule only because I felt like I joined this business for freedom. So whenever I started telling myself, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to sit at my desk all day, like I actually enjoy sitting at my desk all day. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't like stress about having this perfect schedule because some of you guys will have this perfect schedule and when you get off, you think you're bad at this. And that's not the case. It's just days are different. And so it's not a schedule, but it's a to-do list. And before I go to bed or, before I do anything fun or whatever it is, there are things I get done. I never, ever, ever have a message sitting in my inbox for more than a few hours other than overnight. Like I always, 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 especially promotion month, y'all. Like I know we are taught sometimes that, if they really want it, they'll still be there. But that is not the case. I have lost so many people. I've had so many people message me being like, I messaged 4 people. You're the first one that responded. Like you want to be the first one responding. And so if that means you're doing less dinners, you're doing less going out all the time and lake days or whatever it is to make sure you're responding to all these people you're messaging, like do it. It's so worth it. So I do not like leave people in my inbox for a long period of time. And I'm messaging like crazy. Like I feel like promotion month, you should be messaging all the time anyways, but like if I'm not doing something that requires me to like not have my phone, like I'm messaging. I will send out messages upon messages upon messages. Like I still kind of interact, but like I am going, like my main thing is to get blocked. I'm like, I'm gonna keep messaging until I'm blocked. Like I'm gonna be sending out as many messages as possible. And I want to add this in really quick for anyone that's on here that's like, oh God, like I hate messaging. Like I would never message that many people. Y'all, I cannot tell you the amount of people that have said, this is so cool. I would love to do this. Or, oh my gosh, I've been watching you for so long. I just haven't messaged you. Do I have people not respond? Absolutely. Do I have people say, no thanks, or please do not ask me to do that? Of course. Or, I have all that still. But the people that come in and they're like, I'm so glad you asked me. Yes, like, let's do this. Like, it's completely worth it. And so you're looking for that person. And that's why I keep doing that. And that is why I still preach cold messaging. Like, I think it's cold only because we're through social media, but I would still walk up to someone in the grocery store and just be like, hey, like, can I ask you something? This is what I do. Would this interest you? Blah, blah, blah. I would do that to someone. So, like, what's the difference between messaging them on social media and going up to them in person? So anyways, I'm messaging. I am making sure, y'all, if you're trying to promote, I think one of the biggest things is when you feel like you don't have potentials is because you're not writing them down. If you don't have some sort of list somewhere, whether it's an album on your phone, a journal, a planner, if you're not writing down these people's names, you will feel like you're in the most driest season. But it's so funny because you're like, I feel like I'm talking to people all day long. Like, if you're out and about, if you work a full-time job, you have to have a system. Best thing for you, screenshot, put it in later. Me and Morgan, we still were able to have a lot of fun when we went to Charleston, but we were still talking to people all day long, and we just were taking screenshots. I remember coming home and we just had our plan, because I thought I was promoting last month. So like I had my planner, and every night I was just writing in my planner of just screenshots I had all day. So no matter what life is being thrown at you, you have a system. And if it's promotion month, you stick to that system and you write down your people, your messaging. What else? I forgot the question now.
What
To be honest, now I'm just
for like promotion month, your daily task.
okay. So messaging, I'm following up, that's what I was saying. You can't follow up if you don't have a list. Like, and I'm telling you, some people are like, well, I just scroll through my text or I just scroll through my Instagram. Y'all, that is such it's very easy to get distracted. When you're scrolling and you're like looking for people to follow up with, like you're seeing all the people that didn't respond to you. You're seeing all the people that might have said something back. Like it's just so much better to have a list, and you can be like, boom, follow up, boom, follow up, boom, follow up. So following up, messaging, I'm going live all the freaking time. Like I still am trying to be better about not just going live on business, because I do think people are like, oh, we already know what she's talking about. So I'm learning to do more of attraction marketing and get people to really want to see my content. That way, when I do go live more, they're more interested in the business. But going live every day. When I was promoting to Triple, this is just something that worked for us. We were posting before and afters literally every other post. We were posting like 4 times a day, and like every other post was a before and after. So when someone was hopping over to my feed because I messaged them, they're seeing customers' results. Like they're seeing what these products are doing for them. So they were more eager to jump on board. Insta stories. Was Insta stories not really? Bailey's here, but did we do Insta stories?
Hi, Bailey.
Hi. Not a lot, but like the thing with the before and afters is we didn't leave them up. Like we went back and deleted them.
That's right. Yeah. I left some up just because, like I left them up until I promoted because I don't like the way they looked on my profile, obviously. But while I was messaging, I did leave them up. Insta stories, I want to say wasn't a big deal back then, like, because I think we didn't have all the features. This was last February, so
we didn't have Insta stories like until like June.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't feel like I remember doing Insta stories, but then again, like Insta stories have been such a huge part of my business now. I'm like, I don't remember. That was a long time ago. So yeah, making sure that you're just being super consistent with posting those before and afters. And now, obviously, I would suggest your before and afters, large amount of stories going up every hour. I've learned so much about my algorithms and things like that. When you're posting every hour on your Insta story, like you are the first bubble that everyone sees. And even if some of them are just tapping through, there are some who are like, man, I think I want to do this. And y'all go back. If you're like running out of people in the message, go back to the ones that saw your story. Can you imagine how many people have looked at your story and they're like, they meant to swipe up or maybe they swiped over and they don't know how to get back to you? Like I still try and figure out Insta stories with losing people. And so go back, look and see who viewed your stuff and go message them as if they're just a cold message. And they're going to be like, dude, I just saw your story. I begged this was actually part of my list whenever I was promoting. I begged every single customer, every single DT, every single family member to try an extra product, anything. You kind of just start pulling out all the stuff, all your things. But for the most part, y'all, bringing in volume in promoting month and like going the extra mile.
You gotta go balls to the wall.
Balls. That's my hashtag, balls to the wall. I said that one Zoom and I was afraid. But you do. You really have to go balls to the wall. But it's the same stuff you've always done, but you just do it like you're on crack. Like you just heighten it. If you're waking up at 7 every day, start waking up at 6. Start waking up at 5. If you're going to bed at 8 or 9, which I'm sorry, promotion month, you'll better be up till midnight plus. That's just how I see it. Unless you have a job and you are actually getting physically sick from it or whatever. But y'all, when we went Triple, I slept for 2 hours for 4 days straight. Like 2 hours at a time, barely. I'll never forget. I slept 45 minutes the night before I went triple and had to take Sydney back to the airport the next day. I remember me and Rachel driving home and thinking like, I should not be driving. Like, I'm so exhausted. And she literally came home and we passed out and I slept for a day. But it was worth it, you know? And it's just one of those things where you have to start writing down, okay, what could I be doing more? And you start doing it. You know, it's rough while you're doing it, but man, it's so worth it. I know if Cheyenne's going ambassador, that means a lot of y'all are ruby, emeralds, diamonds, doubles, prez, and above. I always get triple, prez, and above. Like, that is life-changing income. Ruby changed my whole life. So every single one of you guys are at least going for ruby and above. So you should be doing the things to, instill that that's happening.
Yeah, and I noticed also that you mentioned that you thought you were promoting last month and you missed your promotion. And I talked about this really big on mine because I obviously missed mine too. And I've never once gone for a promotion that I've missed. I've never once said, like, I'm going double diamond and missed it. And so that was just a big thing that I really preached on our team. So, when you missed that promotion last month, you didn't wake up and cry and not do anything and say, oh, well, I didn't do it, like, dang it, and slam your hands in the ground and not work this month. Like, you're getting right back up. And so what can you say on that?
Yeah, it's so funny, y'all. I don't know about your story, like your timeline, Shan. I know like you had a slower start, but now you've just been like boom, 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 boom. But for me, y'all, I had a lot of growing to do from that gap to Ruby. And it taught me a lot. And I think that's why I've been okay. No, I'm never okay with where I'm at. But I know that that's like me not hitting a promotion is never going to make me turn my back on this company ever. Because I have seen like way too much. Like I've been exposed to way too much to ever let this business not be in my life. And honestly, when it comes down to it, whenever you're not hitting ranks, it's yourself. I 100% believe that the reason why I have not hit presidential is there's something within myself that needs to be grown. And whether that's me and my team as a whole, whether it's me as my leadership, whether I just need more people that want this. Like at the end of the day, it really just comes down to you. And I have never once said that it's my team. I haven't gone presidential because my team. Like there might have been times where I'm like, maybe my team just wasn't as close. Maybe my team was not as ready for their own. But at the end of the day, it's been me. And so once you realize that, you're going to work so much harder the next day, like the next month. And I've been claiming press for almost a year now. And what's so awesome though, is that my volume has grown every single month. So at the end of the day, I can look back and be like, oh, I haven't gone press. Like Cheyenne is about to go ambassador. Y'all, she went double after me. Okay. So like, it's easy to compare, but like, I could be like, oh my gosh, like this sucks. But at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. My volume as in my team as a whole has grown. I have actually grown more true leaders, not people that promoted super fast and don't really care. Like I have people who have been rubies for years and they're still here. Like that's not that I want them to be there, obviously, but they've lost their team. They've regrown in back and forth, and they're still here because they love this business. And at the end of the day, like that's what I want. I want people who love this business. And so when you're looking at your journey, don't look at someone's journey as, oh, they're going super fast. Like, because they might be going super fast with lifers. Like I can tell that this team is lifers. And so Cheyenne's going ambassador with lifers, but there's also some people around you who are going super fast who might not be going with lifers. And they might have to, go through their hump in a little while. And maybe your hump is right now before you hit emerald. I don't know. And so, yes, not getting a promotion that I really, truly thought I could do last month was rough, but why sit here and say, oh, pity me, poor me, what is that going to do for me? That sure as heck ain't getting me to press. If anything, that's going to make my volume drop. That's going to make my team be annoyed with me. That's going to make my team not want to work because they're going to be like, yeah, pity me too. Like, I didn't get mine. Like, you are the leader of your pack. And I truly believe that if you're pitying yourself, you're teaching them to do the same. And you're going to be dealing with that for a long time if that's the case. So, y'all, we're all going to get there. All it takes is consistency, y'all. Like, I think about this. I ramble a lot, so you can just like wave your hand, say stop. But I always think about this. I'm like, if it took me a year each rank, do y'all realize that you'd still be making $30,000 a month in at least 10 years? And I can tell you right now, I was not going to make that as a teacher. Never. That wasn't even if I taught for 60 years, I would never make that income in a month. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I was never going to be handed that opportunity. But you're handed an opportunity to say, hey, you can make $30,000 in 1 month, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years from now, maybe 15 years from now. I don't know. That'd be crazy. But hey, whatever, it might take you an extra long time. And we walk away. We walk away because we're like, oh, I didn't go Ruby in my first month. Are you kidding? Like, y'all, I'm sorry. I just think it's crazy when people quit. But I'm just saying, like, no matter how far away you are from your promotion, the only way you'll ever fail and not get there is if you quit. If you continue to keep going, it's promised to you. Like, if you're going to work your butt off every single month, I believe it. I think it's promised to you. I've never seen someone never quit this business and never make at least VIP. I don't know. But that's just like, I guess that's an opinion. But I just think you just shouldn't give up and you'll get there.
I love it. What do you do as far as keeping your team motivated with you, like throughout the month?
So, I feel like I'm the type of personality, I love new stuff. Like, I love being in this Lifers page and like looking what everyone else is doing and being like, hey, this really worked for our team. Like, I've always done like some type of enrollment challenge to keep everyone hype and excited. I have my leadership Zooms where I'm, preaching into them. There's different things I've done throughout the months, but I will say, I think one of my favorite things that we're doing this month is, I don't know if you saw on the Lifers page, but we all kind of broke off into teams. We have to make this fun, so get creative with your teams and do incentives, but we all broke off into different teams, and each team captain has different people on their team that are not in their downline. And so like Bailey is a captain over like 8 people who are not in her downline. And they get points and some of them are on here right now, like getting points, taking notes, because every Zoom they hop on is a point. I have a different leader going live every single day, which you did for me on the first. They get points for sharing ahas, which is making them watch it. Like, I can't stand when people are like, I didn't see that Zoom. I'm like, what? Or I didn't see that live. And I'm like, so good. Like, what are you doing? You have to go watch that. So, they get points for that. They get points for their 6 list. And they're getting all these points. And it's so funny because they got to make up team names. And like, my 6 diamonds and above are all competing with each other. And it's really fun. Like, they're all really enjoying it. At least I think they are. But that's been fun. So I think if you're trying to motivate your team, I think the worst motivation is being like, you need to do this. You need to do that. Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Like, I'm very yellow. So that could be why I'm turned off by that. I want to be like asking them, what motivates you? What do you want to do? Let's make this fun. Let's be on Zoom. Let's be face to face. It's really hard to motivate someone that you've never really got to know. So if you're feeling like, I'm speaking to leaders right now, but if you feel like on your team, you are not a good leader, it's probably because you haven't actually talked to them. And just because I feel like my leadership, I feel like a better leader when I feel like I have that relationship with them where I can be friends, I can be funny, I can be myself, but then I can also be like, hey, like, this needs to be done, business-wise. You want all of it. You want it to just be a full circle. And so making it fun, making sure that you're getting other people to chime in, because sometimes they don't always want to listen to you. That's something that I had to get over because I wanted to be the one pouring into them all the time. And whenever I stepped back and started letting other leaders and, people start saying the things I've been saying the whole time, like, they were all motivated. And they're like, oh my God, like, we're going to do this. And so get creative. Don't be afraid to ask your team what motivates them. Ask somebody, because everyone's different. Some people like to be yelled at. Some people don't. So I think it's just really about getting to know your team and what they like to do and just start involving them more.
Yeah, it is so crazy how I can literally sit here and say like the same thing every single Zoom, and then you get on here and say something, they're like, oh my God, and I'm like, yeah, Jordan, you're so right.
Okay, but for real, think about your parents. Your parents like hound you over on something all the time, and then you go to someone else's house and their parents say it, and then you're like telling your friend like, you better listen to them, you know, like they're telling you to do something. You're like, my parents tell me that all the time, you know, like it's just something where we're constantly being told by the same person, the same thing. You tune out. You know, you have to switch it up. Your brain actually needs that. Like it has to be like, you can't listen to the same motivational speaker every single day for a month. You have to switch it up or you'll tune out because it's the same voice. It's soothing after a while. Yeah. So that's actually science.
So when it came down to you promoting to triple, what was it that you think that you were just like, okay, you know, this number is crazy. I'm freaking scared out of my mind, but I know that like with me and my team, like we can knock this out. Like what was it that just truly made you say like, okay, all thoughts aside, I'm doing this over hell or high water. Like, let's go.
You know what's so crazy is like, so we promoted in February of last year, and so not this February, the February before that. Yeah. And I remember we needed about 12,800 volume for triple, and I had 3 days. And I remember like, and that was spread out between my diamonds and my doubles. And I remember Sydney Stapleton was my upline, and she was like, poor thing. She was like, yeah, let's go. Like, we got this. And I was like, she does not believe that. But there was something in me where I was like, she flew all the way down. I had this insane amount of pressure. And I was just like, you know what? Yes, we can. We're going to do it. And she was also like, you got this. If there's anyone that can do it, it's you. So I was like, okay. And so I rallied in my people. I mean, we had Bailey, Rachel, Nina, oh my gosh, Corinne wasn't on my team. I almost said Corinne because Corinne's just a huge part of my team now, but she wasn't there yet. But we just had all these people come in, and we stayed at my house every single day. I mean, we worked at my mom's house every single day. And I will actually tell you this. I did not believe it the first day. I was saying it. I'm not going to lie. Like, probably no one knew this, but really in my gut, I was like, we've never brought in this volume. So like, but I was like, but I'm not, I was like, if anything, my diamonds will go diamond. I kept saying that. Like, I was like, I know like maybe there will be some promotions, but mine, I don't know. I just don't know. And so I remember waking up the very next day. No one was at my house yet because I was by myself. And this was before Sydney had gotten in or something. I don't remember, but I remember just crying on the phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this can happen. Or maybe I wasn't talking to Sydney. I have no idea who I was talking to, y'all. It was such a blur. But it was like, I actually remember that feeling. Like, I just started crying. And I was like, my volume is so much higher. And I was like, my volume's higher because like, we're all claiming this. Like, we all were like, this is not happening. There was no backing out, you know? And so I just remember thinking like, okay, we're going to freaking do this. Like, I don't know how. And we're going to do it. But we lived off pizza and keto coffee for 3 days. And
no sleep.
No sleep. When I say no sleep, y'all, I'm not talking like 6 hours. Like,
I go to work every morning at 7:15.
It was so bad. I remember Hannah Reeves walking into my door. She had already promoted to Emerald. Wasn't she an Emerald back then? She walked in as an Emerald, and she started like talking to us, just like, we're super excited for her. And Cindy goes, no talking. Let's go. We're all like, like we were terrified, but at the same time, like, it was so fun. It was like we had a drill in, like, we
also,
were ready.
Like, let's not forget how much volume it was.
Yeah, 12,000. Yeah, it was a lot. And I never take credit for this. Like, we all equally enrolled. I want you to hear me out. Like, you should never just be like, well, they're my upline, so they should enroll me. Whoa, I don't know what that was. It sounded like a dinosaur. Did y'all hear that?
It was Aaron.
It literally sounded like a dinosaur. Sorry. I get distracted, y'all. I literally just a picture like a dinosaur roaring at me. But anyways, I never take full credit for this promotion because I just remember how hard everyone worked. And not only for themselves, but for mine. Like, I could definitely see that this was a group effort. But I will say, like, you should never just assume that your upline out-enrolls you because they're your upline. Like, you guys still work equally. And my team did. I mean, we all equally enrolled 10 to 15 to 20 people in 3 days of systems. That was the thing back then. We didn't have, honestly, keto coffee was great, but like we were all trying to figure it out. Like none of us really liked it because we didn't have chocolate greens like on the go yet. Like, or did we have chocolate greens yet? I don't remember.
Mine was like the Target Trio, the one that was 80 BV with like wraps, cleanse, and fat fighters. That's all I sold.
Busy,
I
like,
was like, keto coffee, I don't know if it's good or not.
I just remember promoting and being like, you better not be selling anything else but a system. Like, there was none of these packages for all these crazy stuff. Like, you really, like, your R110s is what I saw in my back office everywhere. So, really, everyone enrolled, like, 10 plus customers of systems. I remember checking my back office, and it wasn't just my top leaders. Like, they were teaching all of this to the whole team. Like, you do not sell it. We are not selling hair, skin, and nails these next 3 days.
Like, you want hair, skin, and nails? You are buying a
You're
system
like,
as well.
You want to grow your hair? You need to lose weight. Like, that's literally everything. There was no hair, skin, and nails. There was nothing. It was all systems. And that is truly what happened, you know? And it was just like, I don't know how else to explain it other than we just believed it would happen. And we did not give ourselves any room to second guess at the end of the month if we had done enough. Like, I can truly 100% say if that promotion did not happen for me, I don't think I would have been upset because I put so much in it, but there was physically nothing else I could have done. There is literally nothing else I could have done because like I said, I only closed my eyes only for the fact of I like needed to just physically close my eyes because they were burning out of my head. Like, other than that, we woke up at 6 every single morning, stayed up till 4 or 5 every single night. It was insane. It was crazy. Sometimes I'm like, I would never do that again. But then I'm like, well, heck,
at the end, I'm just like,
brought me Prez and everything else. Like, I would, you know? So.
I'm nervous on me myself. But yeah, I just think it's so crazy. And that's what I really wanted for y'all to gather from this Zoom is just what you can do when you lock arms with those that are working. I mean, the end of last month, I sat on Zoom with our girl going triple, a girl going double, and 2 girls going diamond. And those 2 girls were 1,500 away the day before I got on Zoom for the last day. So the second day before the end of the month. And they were like, dude, I don't know if this is going to happen. Like, I don't know if I'm able to pull in this amount of volume. It was like it was the diamond, the emerald, and maybe like a ruby that was working. And they pulled in that 1,500 volume, both of them, and got it done. So, like, it doesn't matter how far away you are. If you can rally the troops, and heck, if maybe I'm your only troop that's there trooping with you, like, it can be done. Because I say this to my team, and all of you know, you've probably heard me say this a million times, there is no amount of BV too much when your dream is bigger. Yeah. There isn't. There's nothing that should keep you from going where you're going. And the only thing that's going to keep you from that is you. Yep. That's it. Like, Jordan was like, I doubted it. And then I saw my team coming together, and then there was no backing out. There was no plan B. And I tell you this all the time, plan A, promote, plan B, die. There is no plan B. There is not. So,
and I think we always say, like, you know, next month. And I will be so honest, like, whenever I was building to Prez, like, obviously triple to Prez was not anymore, back in the day, when you had to have 5 legs. Y'all are so lucky. I just want you to know. But whenever you had 5 legs, I was like, oh my God, I have to build a whole diamond. So of course, like, the first couple of months, I wasn't like, I'm going presidential this month. Like, it was more of I'm building to presidential. And then, you know, once I hit presidential, of course, I was like, oh, well, I'm going presidential. Like, I'm blocked in. But that didn't happen. And I didn't ever try and tell myself that I had next month. You know, I try not to do that because you don't know. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, you don't know where your team is going and who's going to be ready and who's not. You have this month. You have the people you have now. Y'all, there's people who are taking, you know, our team to Prez that were not on my triple chart. And praise be. You know what I mean? So there's things that are going to change in your business. So you have to treat every single month as if this is the month because you just don't know. And so I don't know. I just think half of it is not necessarily the BV you're going to bring in. It's you. It's the person bringing in the BV. Like, if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to talk to your customers like they need it. If you don't believe it's going to happen, you're not going to talk to your team as if it's going to happen. And your team knows. Your team knows when you're like, you got this, and when you're like, okay, what are you talking about? Like, you do have this. Like, what's the doubt here? You know, your team knows. So you have to start with yourself, and you have to give yourself that honest, true talk and be like, if you don't feel like this is going to happen, you need to reevaluate. You need to find someone, you need to talk to them and be like, I don't know why I feel like this isn't going to happen. And you got like 30 seconds, 30 seconds to let it out and be done and move on. Because like, I had a talk with one of my girls about to go double, and she's like, I just don't know. Like, I said, okay, spit it out. Let's go. Tell me everything Satan has told you. Tell me everything that you think that you're not worthy of this. Took us maybe 5 minutes, and it's gone. Don't hold that stuff in. Let it out and move on, because you're worthy. You're worthy of these promotions. The one thing that's going to stop you is yourself. So don't let that be the case.
Yeah, and I feel like most people, like, don't be that person that, like, on the 6th of the month tomorrow, you haven't enrolled a customer, and you're like, that's it. Like, it's not happening. I'm going to throw in the towel. Don't be that person, because it's going to be like that every single month. Because every time
tell you something, actually?
somewhere, something's going to happen. You're going to be like, oh, nope, next month.
My diamond promotion, I'll never forget that. Every promotion I go, it's so weird, y'all. It's never in the bag. Oh gosh, now my number's running. I'm pretty sure I was 5,000 away from diamond on the 25th. I was like 6,900 away for double on the 25th, and then 12,000 for triple. So all my promotions have been so stressful. I've never just organically promoted to anything. But y'all, for diamond, I had enrolled 3 customers that whole month. And Sydney texted me, and she was like, how's diamond? I was like, LOL. Like, I did not. Absolutely not. I was like, Sydney, I need like 5,000 volume. She's like, go get it done. And I was like, what? I was like, Sydney, I've enrolled 3 customers. She's like, so? Yo, I enrolled 20 customers in 5 days. Never in my entire business have I ever done, well, back then, I had never done that before. And it was all because I just was, and I was still working. I was still working a job. That was before I quit my job. Like, it was so crazy. That was the first time where I was like, wow, I told myself I was going to do something, and I just went and freaking did it. And I didn't know. It's not like I had experience in that before. It was just, I told myself I was going to, and I went diamond, and earned $10,000 bonus, all because, and it was one decision, it was one decision and one phone call that I was going to do it, and in that decision, everything else happened. So half of y'all are just waiting on your one decision. And that's actually a really good news. It's not even the fact that you're not ready. It's just the fact that you haven't made the decision to do it yet.
Yes. And I always say that, I always say it's pretty scary when I decide I'm doing something. Like, your decisions should be pretty scary, because that means you're freaking doing it and there's nothing coming in between you and that promotion. And you said something else and I forgot. But, I'm a second half of the month enroller. I swear, every single time. I enrolled 2 customers between the 1st and the 14th when I went triple. And I enrolled like 5 customers from the 1st and the 16th when I went presidential. And I hit over 80 each time. So it's just a matter of deciding.
You can't ever, like, I write down my loyals, obviously, for like purposes of following up with them and checking on them. But like, I had to mentally tell myself that it does not matter when I sign the customers as long as they're signed. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, of course I want consistency. Like, I want all that, all those loyals in the beginning, but just because you did not sign, y'all, this is also with monthly. Like, I'm a high DT enroller. Okay. I had 1 month. It was like February or March, a month where I should not have not signed DTs that were really low. And I was like, who are you? Like, how dare you not sign DTs? And I was in my little pity party, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, you sign hundreds of DTs a year. Like, stop. You have such a great team. You enroll great people. Like, get over yourself and go sign some dang people. Like, I just had to yell at myself, and next month I signed the same amount of DTs as I always do, like, back in my groove. And so stop being so hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace and just go work your business. Like, life is too short to be hard on yourself.
Jordan just said it. Go work your business.
Like, just go work. Everyone, I don't know. This business is I always try to explain it to people that aren't in yet. And I'm like, it's the most precious and most frustrating thing you're ever going to do in your life, because you finally find out what You find out your insecurities, you find out your strengths, you find out all these things about yourself that you've never gotten to even see a glimpse in corporate America. And because you're now your own boss, you now are responsible for people. Like, it's so weird, but it is such a blessing and such a beauty to grow. And in those midst of times where I've been so hard on myself, like, I still find such beauty. I almost said booty. Such beauty in it, because it's like I'm a completely different person from whenever I started this business till now. Whether I signed 3 DTs 1 month or 18 the next. Like, y'all, the stuff that we are hard on ourselves about is so freaking small, and you're wasting your time dwelling in that. Oh, she promoted before me. Oh, I've only enrolled 4 LCs already. Like, she's already enrolled 18. Like, comparison, I'm not even going to get started on that. But I'm just saying there's so many things that you're probably hard on yourself, and you're wasting time. You're wasting time on all the things that haven't happened when you could go make some serious stuff happen with that same amount of time you just wasted. So stop wasting your time. And like I said, go work your business.
I love that so much. So to all the people that are on this Zoom that maybe just now decided they're going to promote because Jordan told them just do it, what would you tell them to do after they get off the Zoom to ensure that they promote?
Okay, if there's anything that I think is 100% like important, is I want you to write your goal. And you're probably like wanting something better than this, but this is what I do. Write your goal everywhere. The one reason why you won't promote this month is because you forget where you're headed. You forget why you're doing it. Something else comes in the way, and you think that it has higher priority over this. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. So if there's anything that you need to be doing right after this Zoom, is every time you open your eyes and you look at something, it should be your goal. Your computer screen, your phone, your bathroom mirror, your car, your kitchen, your desk, your workplace. I'll never forget, I had a sign. We all had like this table at work. I honestly cannot believe I did not take a picture of this, because this would be so humorous. But we had our lunch table at the Plasma Center, and I kept my workbook, my actual binder. I never wrote in it at work. Like, I only had 30 minutes. I kept my chart sitting in front of me while I ate my lunch at the Plasma Center, because I was reminded that whenever I'm on my lunch break, what would I actually want to be doing? I wanted to pop music in my ears, and I wanted to eat my lunch and not talk to anybody, because I just hated my job. I hated talking to people. I just hated that place. But you know what I did? I saw my binder and I saw my chart, and I was like, I'm going to go message people. I'm going to check all my team. I'm going to check my inbox. Like, there's no excuse. Put your goal everywhere so that you're never going to forget where you're going, because that's what's going to get you through any obstacle you have this month. Whether you're not signing or whether you think it's not going to happen, when you start seeing your goals everywhere, it's a constant reminder of stop with the negativity, stop with the self-doubt, stop with comparison. Like, you joined this for you. You did not join this to go ambassador in your first year. Let's be real. Did any of y'all join and think, I'm going to be an ambassador my first year? So why are you comparing yourself to everyone else in their journey? You didn't sign to beat somebody. You didn't sign up to beat someone else to a rank because they got there quicker. You signed for yourself. So there's no reason to be hard on yourself like that. So after the Zoom, all of y'all, plaster it everywhere. And I like to do this. Some leaders don't like to do this, but I start writing the things that I know are going to hold me back. And sometimes it's kind of like calling the elephant out in the room. But when you write those things down, you're aware. And I think one of the biggest things that happen to us is when we're not aware of what can hold us back. When those things come into our life, we're shocked. We're like, and we take 2 days to dwell in it and have our pity parties, right? But whenever I know for a fact the things that hold me back, when it happens, I'm like, oh no, I wrote that down. That's on my list. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to keep going. Like, I'm going to keep going. If there's people you compare yourself with, turn off the notification for them. You know, it's okay. Do what's best for you. If you're like, I'm not signing as much, like, you start telling yourself that you're going to start talking to more people, whether they sign or not. You're going to say, you know what, maybe I just need to message more people. Start creating a game plan for the the obstacle that's coming. Have a game plan for that. And so those would be my 2 things. Write down where you're going and write down the things that could hold you back from that, and have that game plan to make sure that that isn't going to stop you.
I love that. And I always tell people just to know, like, the devil's going to come at you this month. You better be braced and ready to know how to get past it, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we had a question just pop up, and Jamie said, what do you say to a potential loyal customer after you've sent them 4 messages and they've completely ghosted you? She said she runs out of messages to send them, and everyone's saying the same. So what do you do after people ghost you?
I still follow. I follow it up. I send it to my group chat all the time. I'm like, y'all, 12th follow up, 8th follow up. Like, I love it. Like, it's like a game now for me. But obviously, if like, I literally change my follow up message every time. Hey, I messaged you 4 times already. This is my 5th one. Let me know if you changed your mind. And if they don't respond to that, hey, this is number 6, just checking in with you. I'm not giving up on you until you give up on me. So, like, I got that from Ashley Sinclair. And when you start kind of like chuckling at it, like, girl, we talk to you should be, but you should be talking to so many people that one person who's treating you like that, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, mean nothing. You still do it because you're supposed to, and they are going to surprise you, y'all. I literally have heard so many people come back after the 6th follow-up and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had a test or something. I'm like, for 3 months? Like, what? Like, they come up with the funniest stuff, and I'm like, I have followed up with you so many times. Like, there's no way you could even come up with an amount of excuses for each text. So it's always money. I think it's always money. It's, normally just a bad time financially. So I always just tell them, like, hey, is this a better time financially? If not, let me know. I'd rather than tell me not right now and this is a better time than ignore me. So I set myself up to win. I say, hey, are you ready to get your order in? And if they don't say anything, I send another one that night. Hey, is it just money? Be real with them. Hey, is it the money? If so, let me know what better day works for you. I'd rather get another date than be ignored. So just keep kind of calling out the elephant room. Hey, is it time? Are you at work? Or would you like me to place this, for you right now? Like, because sometimes, people are afraid to get their info, which I hope that's not the case on your team. But, I'm always like, I can do it for you if that's like if you're busy. But just keep doing it. Don't let people not responding to you stop you. You're gonna have it. I'm going on 3 years, and I still have people that I'm on my 12th follow up. I'm fine with it. They'll come. They still follow me on Instagram, so it's fine.
I mean, it takes someone to like put on a swimsuit before a vacation and not feel too great in it. It takes someone to get that really good paycheck where they actually finally have something left over, or be going to a wedding. Like, I have people and they're like, oh, hey, I'm going to a wedding. And I scroll up and I'm like, oh, well, I've followed up with you like 140 times now. Like, that would have been nice to know.
The best one is when they message you on Instagram and they're like, oh my God, I've been dying to try this. I'm like, okay, cool, girl. What's your number? I'll text you. And they give me their number, and I hop over to our text messages. I'm like, girl, I have texted you 13 times. Are you joking? I always say something too. I'm like, I'm so glad you finally responded to me. And they're always like, I'm so sorry. Like, just take it with a grain of salt. Just don't even let that bother you. Because it's going to
I think
happen.
once you kind of accept that it's going to happen, it's just kind of normal. Like, you just know. I think about all the Victoria's Secret emails I've gotten. I've never bought from them from online before. So
yeah. And I was going to say too, y'all, like, don't be afraid to treat this like your business. If there's anything that's like my biggest pet peeve is when you think you need them. Like, you don't need them. They need you. So when you're talking to them and they're kind of like, let me think about it. I'm like, girl, what do you got to think about? I just gave you everything you need. Is this something that you want to, and I say it nicely. I'm not like rude about it. But when you go and get your hair done and you don't call in and say, hey, like, I'm not coming anymore, it's very rude. You know what I mean? And so, like, we are taught that if you're going to break an appointment, if you're not going to show up to something you say you're going to show up to, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to say something. And so when someone doesn't respond to me, I said, hey, girl, like, I had your order saved. If you don't want this, just let me know. But I'm here. I showed up for you. Are you ready? And like, kind of talking with that urgency in a nice way. Don't be like rude about it, but reminding yourself that this is a business. You are a business owner and you are showing up for people, and they should be showing back up and that they need you. And when you remember that they need you to help them with their weight loss goals, they need you to help them grow this business because they know nothing before and they will know everything after they have you. So just remember that. Kind of give yourself that crown and be like, you know what? I have the knowledge. I have the product. I have the goods, and you need it from me. So kind of put that ball back into your court and just kind of remind them, like, you need to let me know if this doesn't work for you so that I don't consistently keep following up with you 13 times. I would just appreciate if you just told me that you don't have the money or you're not interested anymore. It's one of those two.
Yes, those are such good tips, and I know that helped them so much. But we are so thankful that you took time out of your night, last minute, to get on the Zoom with us. And so, guys, take the tips that she gave you and run with it. You know, you've got everything that you need. You've got the tips. You've got the people. You've got literally every single person on the team pushing for a promotion. So we're all pushing alongside of you, and that's what our tribe is for. You know, we're all pushing towards that same goal. We're doing it together, and we just told you exactly everything that you need to do. But we can't make you do that. I can't make you work your business. I can't make you push for that goal, and I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself, even though it drives me freaking bonkers that all these people in here, I'm like, oh my God, girl, if you only just did it, like, you have no idea what your potential is. You've got to believe in that in yourself. So thank you for doing this. We appreciate you.